In 2014, Stephen Hawking said the development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race. As you kind of mentioned before, people think we're going to go from ChatGPT to Skynet. We could have Skynet, but it's not the next iteration of ChatGPT. How many steps are between ChatGPT and Skynet?
We need to understand that this was a machine that was trained to produce text that looks believable. And as sub-goals, the machine had to learn other things. Because if you want to generate text to complete the following sentence, how do you say hello in French? Then the machine needs to know how to translate French in order to complete that sentence. That's what it does. So it actually goes quite far in terms of learning to do or perform certain tasks in order to create text that looks good. But that's so far from all those sci-fi scenarios, right? Like Ex Machina or like, having sentient AI. I don't know. It's so far away, right? And AI is currently very narrow. The AI that generates images is still detached from the one that generates text. Now they're kind of trying to combine them, but they're still quite different. So it feels like every problem needs a specific solution. And even with ChatGPT, it didn't work very well for certain tasks. So they hired people from Kenya, paying them $2 an hour to create lots of examples for ChatGPT manually, to write down what they wanted ChatGPT to output. And then ChatGPT was fed with this data to fine-tune it, make it even more politically correct sometimes or more appropriate, but also to improve the output. So there was a lot of manual work to get it to work as well as it works now. So thinking of going from there to like Skynet or like an Ex Machina kind of phenomenon or sci-fi scenario, to me, it's a very, very hypothetical question. It's good to ask, but it's completely detached from current technology.
So what jobs will AI replace in the next decade, Emmanuel? You wrote an article that was also on your website about this topic. And you write, quote, "If you want to future-proof your career, maybe make sure you focus on high-end, excellent work. Make sure your job involves a lot of human tasks like story angles, persuading, researching, architecturing, strategizing, selling, which AI can't do well, and it doesn't seem like it will do anytime soon," end of your quote. Do you have any specific examples of careers to avoid in the future, and what's the timeline?
That's a very good question. So yeah, my point is that there are certain jobs that require this, not just certain jobs, sometimes the same job can be done in a good enough way or in an excellent way that has this human touch, you know. And I can give you examples of that in a second, but I would be worried if you are the kind of person that just works in the good enough sector. That's the reality. A lot of companies, for example, let's say when they want to write blog articles for their websites that are just to attract clicks, like SEO-driven articles, you don't really care about having a fantastic piece of research in the article.